Hi, I am with Aiden Maliski, and he's playing
Gomez.
in the Addams Family for BHS. So Aiden, I'm going to be asking you a couple questions.
Alright.
What was your favorite part about being Gomez?
Well, he's like a funny character, and he's a lead, and this is my first lead, so it's great.
Congrats on your first lead.
Thank you.
What is your favorite part of the set?
Of the set? Well, I like how in the windows, or it's like a photo, it's like a picture.
frame.
It's like a picture frame. And like the ancestors come up and they can go in the picture frame, and we have different ancestors for everyone. It's perfect.
What is your favorite song of the show?
Not today.
Oh yeah, your big solo.
It's good, it's good.
How did you put your own personal twist on Gomez?
Well, I watched the movie, and then, so you, as like a teenage actor, you have to just like make it your own. So
Yeah.
I don't know. You just do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That will be all. Thank you so
All right,
much for doing
thank you.
this. Hi, I am with Molly Scott, and she is playing
Morticia Addams.
in Biddeford High School's The Addams Family. So I'm going to be asking her a few questions. So Molly, which is your favorite dance routine?
All of the dance routines are so fun, but I think mine's definitely Secrets. Obviously, the opener is like a given,
Yeah,
but Secrets is just so fun.
it adds a little oomph to the show.
Yeah, it's a really quick dance routine, and like in comparison to all the others in the show.
Classic Broadway.
Yeah, but like just like the moves, like it feels so great to do.
Yeah.
And it's like after it, every single time, I feel just so energized and like so excited to finish the song.
It's fun to watch from the sideline, so it's like it's like a scene where you're just like, ooh, yeah, I wish I could be part of that.
It's a great scene.
How did you put your own personal twist on Morticia?
So, I spend like a lot of time like figuring out different things to do with my hands. So I figure out like all these like slow like moving things to do with my fingers that are
She's very classical,
elegant,
and-
very slow, and like so I spent a lot of time with our choreographer Deb Lombard with like how I should move and like how slow I should go, and so like I spent so much time on like my hands more than like probably anything else.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What do you think is the most stressful part of playing a lead?
It's a lot of responsibility because as a lead, you're on stage a majority of the show.
Yeah.
So like you really don't get a time to breathe, but like the result is always like so satisfying, and it's so rewarding that like all this time and like energy that you're putting into this, like it's really tolling,
worth it in the end.
but it's so worth it.
When and why did you start doing theater?
I first started doing like plays in 4th and 5th grade with Mr. Pettit, like the
Yeah,
little one
I
act
remember those.
children's shows. But my first ever like musical theater experience was in 6th grade when I did Addams' show of Christmas Carol.
Oh, it was a Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that was my
started off
first
with
show.
Wizard of Oz.
No,
because, yeah, because
Christmas
it was
Carol
in
was
Biddeford.
my-
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a long time
ago. And it's amazing. I love musical theater so much.
Yes. That is all. Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
this. I am with Alyssa Landry, who is playing
Wednesday Addams.
in the Addams Family musical for BHS. And I'll be asking her a couple of questions about her experience. So, Alyssa, thank you for doing this, by the way.
You're welcome.
What is your favorite part of doing the Addams Family?
My favorite part is getting to work with all the kids that I've worked for throughout the past 4 to 5 years, and really
Wow.
getting to see how much our acting and our singing wise has changed, and that's really cool for me.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer because I've done it for years too. How did you put your own personal twist on being Wednesday?
So the thing for me is I'm a really happy person, and Wednesday is quite the opposite of that. So for me, finding moments in my songs and some of my dialogue to kind of give it you get that fleeting moment of Wednesday's happiness, and it's just a fast moment, and getting to incorporate that is cool.
Yeah. And what is a few of the stressful things about being a lead?
I think the most stressful part about being a lead is time management, especially if you're taking more challenging classes and trying to find that time, because you're not just preparing like for one song, you're in most of the show and you have a lot of lines, and so trying to keep that all organized while also not getting behind academically is hard.
When and why did you start doing theater?
I started doing theater in 5th grade, which was after we saw The Phantom of the Opera when TA did it.
Oh, wow.
And I just thought, this is what I want to do. And
Did it have a spark in you?
yeah, I definitely did. And then I realized I wanted to do theater professionally when we did Into the Woods. And I was Little Red, and I was really nervous about it. And the first time I got on stage, I just felt like this is something that I'm doing
You
that's
belong
right.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yes. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I am here with Mr. Farrell, the director of the...
Spring musical, Addams Family.
Yes, it's VHS. And I'm going to be asking him a few questions. So, Mr. Farrell, what was your reasoning for picking the Addams Family for this year's musical?
So the way that we pick musicals is really a little backwards from some schools. A lot of schools tend to look ahead at their theater department and say, oh, I really want to do this show, I really want to do this show next year. And they'll buy these shows and then they'll hope and pray that the cast members come out and that they get the right fit. We do things backwards. We do an open call audition, and then we pick the show that fits the best or that best fits the cast. What ended up happening this year is throughout the process, every single time we do an audition, there'd be a group or a member of that group in that audition that one of us would just be like, wow, wouldn't they make a great Gomez? Wouldn't they make a great Wednesday? And then all of a sudden it was like we started putting pieces together, and it's all of a sudden it's like, oh wait,
There.
kind of cast the Addams Family. And so yeah, that's how we kind of pick our shows. So
Thank you.
Yep.
And in what way have you put your own personal twist on this rendition of the Addams Family?
So a lot is left up in the air to the director as far as blocking and things along those lines. There are a few tweaks throughout the show that we adjusted to make it more appropriate for our audience, or to have the characters work together as a scene. In this show, one of the big things is the fourth wall breaks. There are several of them where all of a sudden, like, the show will stop and they'll turn and the character will interact with the audience and breaking the fourth wall, so to speak. And not everyone does that, but I felt like there were a lot of very great opportunities to have that happen in this year's show. So that's why that would probably be my little personal twist on it.
Yes. What is a musical that you would love to do?
The list goes on and on. Someday, I hope to be able to do Shrek. I don't know that when that will come, but that's always been
We need
a good.
huge cast for that one.
Yeah, I've always really wanted to do that at some point in time. I don't know when. If it were a little more appropriate for school, I'd love to do Young Frankenstein, or
That one I would love to do too.
Yeah.
I love the comedy in that one.
yeah. Also, Spring Awakening is fantastic. There's just so many.
It's a tough
It's a
one.
tough question. There's just so many that are in and out. And
If you had the perfect cast and the perfect production space, what was the one musical that you would do?
if I had everything going for me, what's one show that I would do? Les Mis.
Yeah. yeah. Any director would say that.
Les Mis would be fun to do.
Because there's always no service here.
So yeah, I think Les Mis would be a big one. And also is a classical one, classical piece, Rodgers and Hammerstein, Carousel. Big set in Maine, shipbuilding,
Yeah,
or
it was around the
whaling,
time of
and
Mary Poppins and
yeah.
wow. Yeah.
So good show.
Phone turned off. And when and why did you start doing theater and directing?
So I started in theater when I was a freshman in high school. My friends actually had started in like 5th grade. My high school did Oliver. So they pulled a bunch of really talented elementary school kids. I was not one of them. So so 2 of my friends went on to be able to be in that, and then they kept going back year after year. And the next year they did Fiddler on the Roof, and they played Street Kids. And the next year after that they did Guys and Dolls, and again they played Street Kids and Music Man, and they as we went up there.
Kind of like when I was pulled in at like 7th grade and then on to 8th grade.
Yep.
And I made my way in.
Yep. So what ended up happening was when I got to my freshman year, there had been this funny story, husband and wife directorial team that had been there for a really long time, probably 10 years, and they'd put out great show after great show after great show after great show, and they decided they wanted to take a break. And so they took that break my freshman year, and I'd been so excited to work with them, but I didn't want to work with the new director. I don't know what they also picked Grease, and I really don't like Grease. So my first year I did tech as a freshman, and then that husband-wife team came back, and so I got up on stage, and I did 3 years of stage. I did a couple community shows after high school, and then I went on to college, and I didn't really do any theater while I was in college. I focused more on my classical voice. And then when I came here, I came to Biddeford, I was brought on board to assist with the musical. The old director, Mr. Gebhardt, was going to direct, and I was going to do music and the pit. And I think about a month into the show, he had to step away due to some family health concerns. And so I ended up being like the guy. And so that was Anything Goes. Yeah.
That's the famous Anything Goes.
That's the famous Anything Goes. So that was the first time to my knowledge that Biddeford High School put on a full
Yeah,
production.
I haven't heard anything other than
They had a program for a couple years before that,
Mr.
but
Brazier run it. for a couple of
did the
years.
One Acts Festival and things along those lines, but he never did a full-blown musical.
Yeah, it's tough to do like a full-blown musical though.
Yeah.
Like,
A lot of schools don't even do full-blown musicals every year. Some do every
We're lucky.
other, some do every other year. Some will do every other year, but it's community-based. So like they invite in outside people into the school to play the older characters, and then your high school students end up being mostly in the ensemble and things along those lines. But yeah, no, it's so that was the infamous Anything Goes, was my first foray into directing.
did it go great? It was it
Yes.
great for the first time?
Yes. Did I learn a lot? Yes. Can I not wait to do it again
And
a
make it
few
better.
years down the road and do it the right way? Yes. It takes a lot to put on those shows, and we learned a lot of things to do and a lot of things not to do on that first show. So to do it again.
Did the show happen here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was the spring of I think it was
That was
May
before my
of.
sister arrived.
Yep.
I think
Before your sister. Yes, the year before your sister got up here. So it was May of 2013 was when that show happened.
Wow.
And your sister came in the fall of 2013.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this.
Not a problem.
I really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
taking the time.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in.